All right, what's good, everybody? What's good? This your boy JTL, opposite from the norm, uh, and I believe I got somebody online that's supposed to chime in after that.
Well, this your man HD, the other half of opposite from the norm. I'm here.
All right, man. So today, or this evening on this episode, we're gonna talk about a few things. As y'all can see, we got the picture of the brother George Floyd, rest in peace. We got this bed winch over here. Then in between, I made some of the pictures smaller. The main thing is the brothers who we're gonna be talking about today, George Floyd. And then we have the other brother, Javier Ambler. We're gonna be talking about as well, and some other things. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about. So HD man. So since we rather get to do a show like this together, why don't you start it off? Like, what's something on your mind? I know we talked about a few different things today, but like, what's something on your mind that you want to talk about?
The main thing on my mind is the story that I brought to your attention earlier today about, Mr. Ambler, and apologies if we're pronouncing his name wrong. Javier Ambler was a young black man who died last year on March 28th of 2019, and and when I say young, he was, only 40 years old, and he was a father as well. Two sons that he had, and it really struck me because of all these things that are going on now with, George Floyd, with Breonna Taylor and a gentleman in Georgia as well. It just, we have so much stuff on our hearts, our minds, so many things that we have to go through, with all these protests, which, my man JTL has been a part of a few protests. I went to one myself. Some of the things that we see on TV where people are burning things up, which when they burned up the police station up in Minnesota, I definitely agree with that. Just all the things that are going on. And one point that myself and my partner JTL made is that there are so many black deaths that go unannounced, that aren't, made into, out here getting a lot of news. And it's just sad that we have so many that it's like, how do we focus on one when there's just another and another and another, and then there's some that we know nothing about, like that one. I just found out about this today, and this gentleman passed away last year. So it's like, when all these people, whether it's whites or blacks or whoever, that say that, there's no issue and there's no problem, there is, because there's so many black deaths that we don't even know about, that if we're going to be protesting and marching, when are we ever going to stop? Because we're going to do a protest and a march like every day for another person that we find out.
And I want to add this in here too. The problem I have with that. Let me go back and talk about something me and you already spoke about that you know about. Not to really call nobody out. I'm trying to still keep it respectful, but at the same time I'm still gonna keep it transparent and real. Okay, just like I told you, and I said this on the show if anybody has seen a couple of my other episodes. Like I told my brother, say HD, I was like, I wanted to debate this brother on the stuff that he's talking about on his show because he agreed with Candace Owens, and we had
Well,
some.
you gonna keep it all nice and real. I'm gonna say you want to debate a house nigga. That's what I'm gonna call him. Because if he coming at my partner, I feel like he coming at me. So go ahead, call him a house nigga. That's what he is.
So, anyways, like I was saying, I wanted to debate him on what he was saying, and it's because, like I said before on the previous show, I knew him from doing another show with him, and he seemed like a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? So when he made the video of the bed wench Candace Owens, and at first he said Candace Brown, so I was like, okay, I don't think you really know about this chick like that. And he agreed with what she said about George Floyd. And then once again, I told him, I like, hey, we should do a show on that. And he was like, he don't really think so because he agrees with her. And then he did another video, and I was like, and I made some comments, and then he was like, where I'm using cognitive dissonance, meaning my thoughts and my mind seem right and off my feelings, that type of good stuff, y'all. So I'm like, nah, if you know me, what you don't, then you would know, what I'm saying, that I always speak highly about my involvement in my community, you know what I'm saying, and I always try to bring up facts and things of that nature. He does not. He brought up a bunch of facts of people and talking points of conservatives. So I'm like, all right, well, that's what you want to be. That's fine. Do you. But it's cool because he didn't want to do a show so we can actually speak about real shit and facts. So to me, people like that are basically selling out their own people, and it's fucked up because if you really are open and trying to help your people, you're not just gonna see it one sided. You're gonna try to get much information as you can to get the knowledge that we can do better and come together instead of pushing people away with biasness. Like I always tell y'all, if I put a video out, I'm gonna put much information on there as I can. If y'all gonna go ahead and Google it and find me wrong, please let me know so I can correct it. I always say that. So with that being said, one of the things that the bed went said was talking about, the numbers. And just like my brother HD just said, Javier Ambler, we heard nothing about that situation. I try to look online, and what did we talk about today, H? About the whole Jane Doe, John Doe thing with the police?
Right. There's so many people that go unannounced. There's so many people that may end up at the police station, whether we're talking about the numbers of black men and women that get arrested or black women and black men that get killed. There are a lot of them that go under that John Doe or Jane Doe, and they can't get counted into the numbers when people like the bed wench or the house nigga that you was talking about that wants to debate and pull up numbers, and they'll say, oh, well, according to the numbers I found, only this amount of black men or black women were killed in the past year. We always say, between myself and JTL, that old saying that everyone loves to say, whether it be rappers or famous people, that men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's a false statement, because there are a lot of times that numbers do lie, because a lot of the time when the people who are behind computing those numbers, putting the numbers into the system, they lie, they make things up because they may have a narrative, or they may have gotten paid off, or they may just not have all of the numbers correct, because as my partner just said, there are a lot of people who pass away or get killed under a name Jane Doe or John Doe, and those people are not counted into the numbers. So numbers can be skewed, numbers can be altered to fit a narrative, or just to, in the simple fact of, they don't have all of the people there. So when people say that, oh, you just only have to look at the numbers to make a point, they're incorrect.
Also, I want to talk about the other thing that you read, which people can look up also. Remember what you said about one report, a reporter reported that about the numbers and not getting accurate data, or if any data at all from police stations. Comment on that too.
Yeah, I'm about to pull that up here. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, because
for any people who want to get these numbers, it is off of mappingpoliceviolence.org. They have a lot of numbers on here. You can go so far on this page to pull up the numbers from whatever state you may live in the entire nation. And I'm pulling it up here. One of the first sentences, it says, law enforcement agencies across the country have failed to provide us with even the basic information about the lives they have taken. That tells you right there that a number of these law enforcement agencies in any state you want to name do not always provide you with the information needed to calculate in these numbers that we get from certain websites all the time.
Also, I've seen that in a Washington Post article, the New York Times article. I've seen that in the Star Tribune, which is up there in Minneapolis. It's different articles, and if any of you guys want to look it up, you know what I'm saying? Not just to fit my narrative or my partner HD narrative, but if you really want to see what these reporters are talking about, let's not just go off of one-sided views and biasness. If you guys want to really find out what's going on, make sure you do your own research, but try to have an open, objective mind. Ask yourself a question: why is that? Try to find that out. Just because. Also, I seen a report that the Star Tribune had talked about that police station that got burnt down. Thank God. I'm sorry, but keeping it real on this channel. The third precinct over there in Indianapolis. Guess what? They have had many reports of police officers doing crooked shit, like fucking with prostitutes. Like they go to arrest them, but they up there doing anal and vaginal investigation on these people for like up to 10 minutes. Then they talked about them doing the same thing with police brutality. And another thing I spoke about, I believe it was in Minnesota, somebody talked about 8-9 people getting killed last year by the police, and I was looking for that and I couldn't find it. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? Then not only that, the judge, they was reporting that it was judges that had to throw out a lot of cases because the police are so fucking crooked. So them getting burnt down meant to be that way. Just like Malcolm said, if you can't clean up your act and clean up your house, then you don't deserve a house. Your house should be burned down, set on fire, and burned to the ground. That is the realest shit ever.
And let me chime in real quick. I just read you the first sentence, but right after that, the following portion of it says, while the recently signed Death in Custody Reporting Act mandates this data to be reported, it's unclear whether police departments will actually comply with this mandate, and even if they do decide to report this information, it could be several years before the data is fully collected, compiled, and made public. So anyone who reads that should know and understand what that means. It's evidence, and there's information that they keep hidden, and let's just say it's information from 2017. You may not find out about it until 2021. So when you put out these numbers and you put out these charts to show how many blacks and whites have died, those numbers are not always true. They're not always all the way fully representing the amount of people that have really died.
Right. And also another thing I want to bring up, like I said, I spoke to dude, you know what I'm saying, on other show I was trying to debate. I brought up about the FBI memo that was put out in early 2000, which is something I want you guys to look up too. The FBI put out a memo talking about white supremacists joining police departments across the nation. Okay, so if we're going to sit here and say that police brutality is a myth, then why the fuck did the FBI do their investigation and talk about white supremacists? Now, you got to remind you now, for all the people that don't know, J. Edgar Hoover, when he was alive, he used to attack the shit out of black organizations that were trying to do positive shit, get every kind of dirt he could on them to destroy them, okay? But for this FBI agency now, all these years later after he died, is warning other police departments across the nation that white supremacists are joining. And then plus you got to look at all those white supremacists that was up there in Charlottesville that was protesting as neo-Nazis. Where you think they gonna go once they graduate fucking college into the workforce? So we have to worry about the police force, and we have to worry about the workforce of white supremacists joining. So if you honestly think, oh, they're peaceful protesters on both sides, just like fucking 45 said, you're a fucking idiot. It's proof. It shows proof right there. So for all the people that's thinking it's a myth and it's you know what I'm saying, just like my partner HD said, when you really break it down and think about it, people can lie about the numbers or they can hide it and not give you any kind of numbers just to make themselves look good. The LAPD is one of the most crooked police departments in the nation, maybe one of the top two. And you mean to tell me you honestly think that regardless of what black people do, you can say we hold up our thugs and all of that, but let's talk about this. Look at Christopher Columbus. We still celebrate Christopher Columbus Day, and he was a fucking criminal and a crook and a murderer and a rapist. So you mean to tell me we know that for all these at least 100 years now, and we still celebrate his day, okay? Thomas Jefferson, he owned slaves. He was part of the you know what I'm saying, the democracy leaders back then and all that, and one of the presidents. So you mean to tell me him owning slaves was okay? And he didn't even believe in God because he wrote a book on blasphemy. He didn't even believe in God. But we talk about God in the Constitution. Then we go ahead and look at the Confederacy. You still have Confederate statues all over the place, not just in the South, but also in Philadelphia and other places. And then people are still protesting to take down these statues because of racism. But we still allow it. Explain to me why that we should not ban the Confederate flag. We whooped their ass back then. And you mean to tell me we still allow that? So isn't that not holding up our worst people? Because think about it. Who's worse? Christopher Columbus or Tupac Shakur?
I think we know the answer to that.
I'm just saying. Let's really think about it. Who's worse? Thomas Jefferson, who owned slaves, or fucking George Floyd? Like, these are the things that we gotta really seriously think about. And people like that, we gotta cancel them out of our system. Fuck them. Certain people on certain levels, if they want to destroy them, I pray to God that they do. You know what I'm saying? Get on there, whoop their ass in a debate. But if you notice, Candace Owens will hold bad wench ass. She won't debate somebody like Roland Martin, but she'll try to debate Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Cardi B. But she won't date somebody who does the same shit that she does and covers the same shit that she does. I find that crazy that, you know what I'm saying, nowadays we let people like that into the system and all they do is regurgitate everybody else. She doesn't even have a real thought in her own fucking head. And it's sorry, dude, I was trying to, you know, have a video with him and talk about the situation, but he ran. That was cowardly to me. You know what I'm saying? That was a coward move to me. That was a punk move, because if you think all your shit stand true, then debate me on it. But since you don't want to, that's fine. I see where you stand at, and I let it be known before we start commenting each other. I see where you stand at. He didn't say nothing after that. So we know what time it is on that situation. So also, the Lil Wayne situation, for as what I told you. Go ahead, HD. Speak on Lil Tom and what I told you what happened with that situation, which I'm sure you've seen some of his comments too.
Well, it's just when he's speaking on, you know, what black people should do or shouldn't do, or where we should think or shouldn't think, or whatever, and he brings up the fact that a white cop was the one that saved his life when, you know, he shot himself years ago when he was younger. I really don't see, as an intelligent person, what that has to do with what's going on now. One person came, whoever this cop was that saved your life, that's great, that's fine. But does that take away from the issue that there are hundreds and hundreds of police officers who, as you just said, could be members of the KKK or white supremacy groups, and they get in this blue suit, put the badge on, and their number one goal when they go out each day is not for them to serve the community, it's for them to do harm to black men and black women. Yes, we can go live by the narrative that, you know, not every single cop is bad. We know that. That's something that people have been shouting for years and years and years. We know that, and we understand that. But you can't turn your head or turn a blind eye to everything that's going on each and every day. People are dying. People are getting murdered. And it just really sickens me, as you relayed the great comments and facts earlier. If it's all like that, what he's saying in his music, why did you promote what you promoted? If it's like that. In all the music that he's made, he's promoted violence and killing of other black men.
Drug uses, yep.
And all that. Drug use. Now, people always try to come and do that slick shit of, oh, look at this hand while they stabbing you with the other. People will say, oh, well, all I did was rap about what I saw in my neighborhood. Okay, but that's a choice. You have many rappers out there, most deaf, black are. I can name a lot of rappers out there who have had lengthy careers, who are still going. The Roots are on TV, on the fucking Jimmy Fallon show. Mm-hmm. So you can't say, oh, that type of music doesn't get you paid any money. The Roots make a lot of money.
Oh, and on that real quick,
a lot of money for over 20 years.
And not to cut you off, remember,
live by that narrative of you have to make a certain type of music to earn a lot of money.
And don't forget, not to cut you off, but let me throw this in there real quick, then you can continue. Don't forget, Rolling Stones magazine, I forget what year that was, around 2010 or somewhere around that, 9, 8, somewhere. You remember when they deemed them as one of the top 10 bands in the world.
Exactly.
The Roots.
And they don't promote that shit.
Exactly.
But I want you to speak to the comment that you made earlier, say it in the way that you said it correctly, then I'll keep rolling.
Which one? About Wayne selling out?
About Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, about all the shit that he rapped and promoted.
Okay, yeah, because, I wasn't a huge fan at first when Cash Money first came out because I still was a No Limit fan. I felt like Master P said real shit. So when Cash Money was starting to blow up, when the Hot Boys was putting their first albums out, me and my dog started listening to them more. So I just remember all the songs he was talking and how he was fronting. Like, I remember one song, I forget the name of it. It's Cold World on one of the, I think it's Guerrilla Warfare album, Cold World. Either that or Get It How You Live. And one line on the song Cold World, Wayne said, "You got shot, I got shot too. Look how this world do." Nigga, you shot yourself. Okay. So, in a lot of songs, all he talks about... in a lot of songs, he talks about drug dealing, killing, drug abuse, disrespect to black women. Then plus, you talk about... Because remember that Emmett Till line. Then you talk about... a lot of songs he was saying fuck the police too. Don't forget the movie Baller Blocking, right. They was beefing with the police on Baller Blocking. So you were saying all of this shit, right? And then now as you get older, you wealthy as a motherfucker. Now you want to bring up the shit about Uncle Bob. Where was Uncle Bob when you was making all these songs, saying all this disrespectful shit and making us, coercing us to use your music as a background because this was the shit for the hood. You such a real hood nigga. Even though you went from your mama house to the studio. When was you in the streets, bro? You started rapping with Cash Money since you was 9 years old. So when was you ever in the fucking streets? Okay. Then plus you say this about the police now, we should respect them. What about what we do? You a pussy ass nigga for that. You a fuck boy for that. Because when have you came out and say, you know what, people, I was wrong. The music I helped make, the music we made at Cash Money, Young Money, I am and still make to this day, especially with drug usage. I was wrong. I apologize because we should be trying to work with the police or doing better in our community. Or we should promote brothers being police officers so they can police their community. No, he didn't come out and apologize and then try to say, we can try to do better. If you don't come out and apologize and say, I was wrong for the shit that I said, you're a fuck nigga. And that's why I don't respect Jay-Z, because Jay-Z never came out and said it either.
How he gonna open his mouth right now when, I don't listen to his music, but I always say sometimes I'll listen to certain things so that I can critique it fairly. Mm-hmm. You can't say that something is dumb or stupid or ignorant or whack or good or great if you don't listen to it. Right. I listened to a song recently because on his new album that he got out, he has a feature with Conway and Benny, who are from Griselda, who I'm fans of. For anybody who knows about the Griselda camp and West Side Gun. And on that particular song, in the verse that he's rapping about shooting a nigga. Mm-hmm. So once again, you're still to this day, however many years he done been in the rap game, 15, 20 years later, still talking the same shit, but you got the nerve to say what we do to ourselves. But you sitting here promoting it, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. In your music, you done been in the game for 20 years. Where's the growth at? Yeah. Since we pointing fingers and shit, where's your growth at? Because I know rappers, name one off the top of my head, Cormega. People may not know about him. When he first came out, through most of all his years, he was rapping about the shit that he actually lived, not some fake studio gangster like Lil Wayne, who ain't never did no street shit, really real. Cormega rapped about all the shit that we know he was real. And we know Cormega was real because I've been hearing about Cormega before his first album dropped by other people. Go ahead, continue. And his stuff is it's documented.
Yep.
It's not like he just made up some shit. You can look up his records. And now, he don't rap about none of that shit, and he's still a great lyricist. That's growth. He's been in the game 10, 15, 20 years, and he's grown as a man to, you know what, I don't have to rap about the same shit I rapped about 10 years ago.
Right.
So once again, we got this motherfucker who has a big platform to speak to young kids, older people, people our age, promoting the same shit you've been rapping about for 15, 20 years, but you have the nerve to open your mouth and say, we need to look at what we do to our own people. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. That's why I can't. It was really hard for me to even talk about this subject or even bring his name up because he's a sucker.
Right.
He's the definition of a sucker. He's trying to do some motherfucking preaching to somebody about what somebody else needs to do when he needs to go take his tattooed ass face and look in the fucking mirror.
Right. Real shit. Real shit. But like I said, growing up, I always heard people saying, you know, these rappers need to hold themselves accountable for the shit that they put into our communities. I didn't realize that until now when Lil Tom said what he said. And I thought about it the other day. I was like, hold up. All this gangster shit that you taught and you push and promote it to young brothers to go out in the hood and do crazy, stupid shit because you wanted to be looked at like you was Tupac the Thug. Not the revolutionary, but the Thug. And then you mean to tell me that now you want to say you love the police? Now you love the police. That's the type of shit that made me wake up and be like, all right.
The police saved my life. Nigga, you shot yourself.
But
you
then,
ain't doing no gangster shit.
Now let me ask this question. I would ask that sellout this question. If that's the case, then why you keep doing stupid shit? Why you keep getting caught with unmarked guns instead of just having security with licensed gun? If you had that much respect for police, it sounds like what it is.
Why we gonna get their gun license?
You know what he is? He's a black Pauly Shore. He's a weasel. So it sounds like you are saying these things to weasel out of the fuck shit that you do. Mr. I'm a gangbanger for real. Look at my red bandana. You a fucking dickhead ass weasel, you sellout ass coon. Because you say all this shit, but you a gangster? You are not a blood for real if you talking about you love the police, bruh. Come on, man. These are the things that people don't think about. I think that's why a lot of people are like saying fuck him. But I don't see how these rappers still tell me they love Lil Wayne. I would be like, fuck that nigga. That's why, all right, I know what H finna say. I know how my brother is. Okay. I know he look at I know you look at T.I. sideways. But at least out of all the rappers, T.I. is the only one that does not fuck with Lil Wayne anymore. He's the only rapper that came out and called Lil Wayne out, and they know each other. He's the only rapper that came out and called him out publicly because of the stupid shit he said publicly, and he don't fuck with Lil Wayne no more. So, I'm just keeping it real. Every other rapper still on this tip, but T.I. ain't. I just had to throw that in there real quick. Also, it was.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
On one of this nigga's biggest songs, "The Block Is Hot," I'm sitting here reading the lyrics.
Oh, please quote some of those lyrics. Please do.
Littered with this shit. Littered.
Go ahead, quote some of them. Go ahead.
I mean, what do you run in his house and kidnap the nigga? Him and his fam. He ain't talking about kidnapping a white person. He's talking about kidnapping a nigga.
Yep.
Call out for the caper, won't hesitate to kill a man. Who you talking about killing? You talking about killing your own people, or you talking about killing some white people? Because you damn sure didn't put that in your lyrics. But I mean, even in the song, he say, ducking the cops. I thought the cops was your friend. I thought they was your partners.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying, man. This shit, with a person like him, is like, you know what? If you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But when it comes to talking about the black issues and shit, just bye. Don't even you can stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
You can stay right in your lane. You don't got to do any of that.
Just say no comment. Why are people making comments? Just say no comment.
If somebody want to come at me about, oh, that was years ago. Like I was saying, the song that he has with Conway and Benny. This song right here is Funeral. They're actually on the Funeral remix. Excuse me. In the first verse, I bust in with that Uzi. Why are you still talking about busting in with a Uzi? They never bust in on nobody with no Uzi, nigga. Never. Never.
Okay.
Why? Once again, this is new music. New music. You still talking about busting somebody. You ain't never bust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's another lyric. I hate your bitch, your mom, and your fellas, kids, cousins, uncles, aunts, and your nephews. Shoot a pussy nigga in the face. Closed casket. Oh. But you want to talk about we need to hold ourselves accountable. Get the fuck out of here.
But see, that's why I said, if he came out and said, you know what, I apologize for my subjective lyrics, and I'm going to be making a change. I'm not going to do that type of rap no more. You know, I need to hold myself accountable, and we got to do that as a people. I can respect it a little bit more because now you walk it like you talk it. But he not. You still making songs like that, and you coercing it. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, it's just entertainment. I don't want to hear that shit. You can't say you real, and you lie. I thought rap music and hip hop, we were supposed to keep it transparent. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be who we really are.
Sorry, I misquoted myself, so that makes it even worse. Benny and Conway are actually on the song Russian Roulette. So the song Funeral is raining. So that's his song.
Yeah, that's his song.
My mistake on that, on getting the words on. I ain't no Lil Wayne fan, so please excuse me. I don't give a fuck less about his music. But that just lets you know that's his song. There ain't no feature on it. That's his song. He doing this rapping.
Mm-hmm.
He talking this tough talk. He talking about shooting a nigga in the face, but then when it come out the other side of his mouth and say, we need to look at what we doing. But you know what the excuse is gonna be. Oh, this is just all entertainment.
Entertainment.
It's all entertainment. You can't take this rap seriously. It's just entertainment.
But they keep catching his drug infested ass with guns. So can we be safe to suspect that Wayne a fucking rat? Because remember they caught him with a bunch of shit on his private plane not too long ago. They let him off.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He ain't got no felony, so.
Yeah, he do. He did. Hold on. Remember, he did a year and a day in Fed for that gun a little while back. Remember?
Well, maybe you on to something, bro.
Think about it. He did a year or so in Fed. That means he should have went back to jail again, right? Because it was the feds that busted him again on that jet. Come on now. Think about that shit, y'all. Think about that shit. So, like I said, we can this is always been my biggest argument when we think about it too. For all these people that say they want to help the black community, instead of helping yourself. Why is people like the Bad Witch and Little Tom sitting up here? If they trying to help the people, then why the fuck are y'all talking to white people? Why you not in the black communities? Why you not in the trenches trying to help people like Step and Fetch It Smith? I'm in the streets. Remember what you told me earlier about his schedule? Break it down for the people. Break it down for the people who don't know. When Step and Fetch It Smith say that he's in the streets, he's from Queens. Break down what you told me today.
I just was saying I find it hard to see when there's enough time in the day for him to be quote unquote in the streets when he has all these ESPN shows. He does guest spots on General Hospital, which is a soap opera. So the nigga's acting on a soap opera. Mm-hmm. He does all these things for ESPN. He has a radio show. He does guest spots all over the place. He does interviews. He has some kind of special that was either came out already or it's coming out on ABC. Like, this dude has so much stuff going on. Like, there's only 24 hours in the day. How are you doing all these things, making appearances in New York, LA, all that, and you say you're in the streets?
Right.
I just don't understand.
And it's so funny to hear him say, I'm in these streets. What? Why you don't say I'm in these communities? I'm in these neighborhoods.
Thank you.
I'm helping with these organizations.
Make yourself sound like he's down when you don't have to, nigga. You a millionaire. You a fucking millionaire. Why you trying to make yourself sound like you a tough guy or some shit?
No, let me ask you something, H. If you was making $10-12 million a year, do you think it would still be easy for you to turn your back on the system and the man that writes your check?
Of course, because then you can go start your own shit. You don't have to answer to nobody. You can be your own boss.
Now, all these other things that he doing, all this hustling he doing, he does his own thing online and stuff like that as well. And my thing is, if you left ESPN, you would, because a lot of money comes from podcasting is investors and advertisers. I'm sure there's plenty of people that would spend money with you if you went by yourself being Steppin' Fetchin' Smith. I'm sure a lot of people would fuck with you.
Oh, yeah,
but
if he decided to just go out on his own, just leave ESPN, he would have plenty of followers. There would be a lot of black and white, followers that he would have. So he doesn't technically need them.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't want to leave it, which is his business. But stop trying to make yourself seem like you so down and you want to try so hard to keep street cred at the same time, be a Sambo. It's like, be who you are. If that's who you are, that's who you are. And you know what trips me out? The reason why people don't want to fully go to the other side.
Hold on. When you say street cred, you don't have to have street cred to help communities out, yo. If I have $15 million, there'd be so many organizations and so many people I would be giving money to. And that has nothing to do with me having street cred. That's just me helping out black people.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Why would I have to walk around like trying to talk tough and act tough when I got $15 million in the bank and I'm giving money to homeless people and I'm helping out single mothers and I'm helping out get my brothers out of prison? Why the fuck would I have to act like I'm tough or try to talk tough? For what? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm helping my people. I'm making things better in the community. What the fuck I need to talk tough for?
You know where that comes from? That comes from when somebody realized they sold out. That comes from somebody who can't look themselves in the mirror. Anytime, because you have people that be like, man, fuck the hood. I ain't never going back to that shit. We had people like that historically. But the people that keep trying to come back, guess what? They know they sold out and they still love being in the black community. They still love their people. But when they look at that check like, hey, man, I know you don't mean to disrespect your people, but nigga, do you know where you can go next weekend with this type of money? So you got a lot of people who, like Steppin' Fetchin' Smith, the reason why he still wants to be down is because he know he still got a lot of love for his people. I believe he still loves his people, but he older. You know what I'm saying? What, he about 57, something like that? So you know a nigga like him come from the old school, right? Back then, it was easy to sell your people out I'll say around the 70s and 80s. It was easier, and 60s. It was easier because a lot of people, especially us, our people, was trying to find their way in this society, and it was easy.
Homie's 52.
Damn, he looked 57. But it seems like the people back then, think about it, G. Back then, we were so happy with one of our own would make it somewhere. We felt like we all made it because it made us all look better, right? So it was easy for them type of coons to go off somewhere, do their backstabbing, right, and come back to the community, still be around their people and not get called out for it because we're just so happy. And if he talked about, man, I'm going through this with these damn white folks, I'm going through this shit with these jacks, they'd be like, man, don't worry about it, man. Keep your head up, keep working hard, don't even pay attention, keep your, you know what I'm saying, keep your blinders on, do what you got to do so you can be great. That's what it used to be back in the days. When we found out all these sellout motherfuckers was around us, now nigga like, man, hold up, man, who that motherfucker is? I don't know that coon. You be like, man, I'm your cousin. No, nigga, I don't know you like that, bro. That's how it is now. So now you got people like Candace Owens that will fight against rappers to make herself look good. She think that she actually, and this is how you know she around white people. This is how stupid she is, and she's not really, her and Steppin' Fetchit. This is how you know white people giving them the script. Black people know better than that. Okay, T.I. is one of the top rappers. Jay-Z and Beyonce too. They're a little politically conscious, a little bit. They can call whoever they want and get information if they want to. These are savvy ass niggas from the hood where they come from. They had to be hustlers, so they had to be smart. You a stupid motherfucker if you think you can debate or fuck with Jay-Z or T.I. or Cardi B and not get cussed out or possibly get your ass whooped. Fucking with niggas like them. I ain't taking up for them, but I'm just saying, niggas like them, you are not gonna pull the wool over their eyes because they will cuss your ass out and call you out. Especially T.I. like he did on this Revolt Summit. He was like, cause you started with some bullshit. He didn't let that shit happen. Even though Killer Mike was saying what he said, she was like, that's what I was trying to say. Nope, sorry, you had your chance. Even though we don't fuck with him either. Fuck him. But at the same time, a nigga like him that come from where we come from, we still gonna be vibrato about it. You know what I'm saying? Boisterous and loud on your ass. You ain't finna come do that. So Candace Owens and Steppin' Fetchit Smith can't come around real motherfuckers like that and get away with that shit. He still tries, and a bitch like her won't make it around people like us. You know what I'm saying? That shit will not happen at all. We not really even playing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, you know, we talked about a few good things. I want to say also, fuck Bad Witch Owens. Rest in peace to George. Rest in peace to George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad everybody was there at the funeral. People showed so much love and positivity, man. I'm glad for that. Also, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that we didn't know about it, but rest in peace to Javier Ambler. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate shit. Shit like that keeps happening, man. And we just gotta look out for each other and try to do the best that we can. You know what I'm saying? For each other, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we got to some points we want to talk about. We definitely gonna do more and talk about more. You
and
know,
I want to say one more thing too. We gotta stop making excuses. Like even myself, you know, you've gotten on me lately. We need to stop making excuses when it comes to doing things for our people and speaking up, and just for the community. Period. Like. Yeah, there have been a lot of people who have been stepping up. You know, a lot of people putting out money for, you know, black certain things out there right now. But we need to definitely stop making so many excuses about, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, or I'll do it when I get some money, or I'll do it. No, we need to start doing some things because whoever you are, a man, woman, whatever, you can be a part of changing things. Even if it's just two little things that get changed, it could be a change that could affect your child or your grandchildren later on down the line. So we need to stop making so many excuses and just do something. Even if it's just contributing $2 or making a poster or going to march one day or going to just join an organization, even if you're not the type to have a big voice, just going and sitting in on a meeting in your local town. We just need to stop making excuses as a people, period.
That's true shit. It's so much that we can do on our own. I think another thing we got to stop doing, like we was talking about earlier, we're not gonna have black leaders like that no more. You know what I'm saying? We need more black guidance in our communities, in our cities and stuff like that for our people. We need guidance, because if you think about it, if we have a leader and they just assassinate them like they've been doing all these years and decades and generations, it fucks up the whole movement. That's why we gotta have guidance, because if it's more than one, like, I mean, and they don't have no problem knocking them off, But what you gotta realize when it comes to guidance, the reason why, another thing real quick, the reason why we're not a threat as far as being able to be movers and shakers and have real power in this nation is because all they gotta do is throw a Candace Owens out there. All they gotta do is throw a Stephen A. Smith out there. All they gotta do is throw. I mean, once they do that, then it motivates like the brother that I was trying to talk to, that did that Cowley House nigga shit, and you know what I'm saying. And now he motivated because he getting numbers on YouTube. That's all they need to do, and then it fucks up the whole movement. It's so easy for them to throw a bunch of monkey wrenches in there, and that's why we got to give information to people. Walk it like we talk it, like we always talk about, like you always saying, being an example as well, giving information, being examples as well, and giving guidance to our people because it's easy for them to throw a monkey wrench. We're still falling for the same shit we fell for since slavery days of the house nigga versus the field nigga. We are still falling for that. Just like Malcolm X said in like, 61, 62 when he was on that show, the house nigga versus the field nigga. We are still falling for that whole thing. It has nothing to do with light skin or dark skin or mixed skin when it comes to our people. It has to do with the mentality skin, the mentality of somebody's mind. That's what is still fucking us up. Is that you got niggas nowadays? You got niggas willing to be house niggas for money. It used to be niggas would be willing to be a house nigga so they save their life. And I can at least understand that you're trying to be a house nigga to save your life. I can at least understand that. But to be a house nigga for paper, with all these opportunities in this country, in this world today, you willing to be a house nigga for paper. I understand saving your life, but paper nigga or fame? Matter of fact, fame. Niggas are willing to die for fame now and be house niggas to be famous. They don't even get no real money nowadays. Candace Owens probably doing good for herself, but that bitch ain't got making $5-10 million a year.
Well, we keep it real. They willing to be house niggas to try to get them a white devil woman. A lot of these dudes do a lot of tap dancing and trying to go on to the other side so that they can get them a white woman
or a white husband.
A white husband to live the quote unquote good life or American dream.
Yeah, being white. I think that's another thing. If you fall into that fallacy, if you fall into that fallacy that you as a person of color, especially if you black, that you can live the American dream, you living in a dream. That's not reality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to live the American dream. That means you got to be asleep. So if you woke, you not an American. Like, let's really analyze that for a quick second. By default, we're Americans on paper. But if you look at it, we are not Americans because we don't get treated like Americans because we've never looked at as Americans into, when was it? I ain't talking about the freedom of slaves, which was what, like 1865. June, what was it that when they accepted black people? Never.
Right, exactly.
Never.
I was thinking like, what day is this motherfucker trying to think of? They ain't accepting us now.
Think of,
what these niggas talking about?
like, think of, like, honestly, I want everybody who listens to this show to really seriously think about it. When have they ever said black people are officially Americans this day? Asian people are officially Americans this day. Italians are officially Americans this day. Irish people are officially Americans this day. Hispanic people are officially Americans this day. They throw blanket statements and make you think that when you paying your taxes and you have some importance. Listen, when it comes to Europeans, Caucasians from the mountain of Carcarcus, what we need to understand as a people from different races, we come from a natural ground. We come from an actual root. That's why we have different colors and depictions of skin and all that. And you look at European whites, regular European whites die from the sun. Other people don't. Color people don't. We become better. It enriches our lives and our skins. So if you don't realize that, then you lost too. They're afraid of us coming together. That's why they try to keep us all separate. And that's what we all got to think about. And once we all are able to come together on the common ground and a common enemy, them motherfuckers ain't got no choice but to respect that, because all these people around the nations have been. Matter of fact, real quick, that one Corey Holcomb show, I need to send it to you. When Uncle Bobby was talking about his cousins that served in the military. I don't know if you've seen this episode, but his cousins that served in the military.
I know what you're talking about.
And he was talking about how his cousin was like 6'5" next to a white dude that was like 5'8", and when the gunfire started, they blew his head off, and then they started saying on the speakerphone, "Soul brother, this is not your war."
Right. Yep, I heard that one.
This is what people don't think about. When you put me on to, cause you seen that Spike Lee movie Miracle at St. Anna, like 6-7 months, almost a year before I did. You like, yo son, go watch that shit. And I watched it with with the one chick I used to deal with out there on the north side. We was watching it, and we had deep dialogue that night about that. This is what people got to understand. For anybody who don't get what we're saying, watch Miracle at St. Anna. Watch how when we was going and fighting World War II, that Germany was saying, this ain't your fight. Basically, why are you fighting us? You ain't got nothing to do with this. Buffalo soldiers.
Think about what Muhammad Ali stood up for.
Right.
And when he didn't want to go to war. I mean, I have the shirt here in my apartment, where he's talking about the different colors.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
And it's like, why are we going over here to fight these yellow people and red people? Because these white people are telling us as black people to go fight them. You can get that from a lot of people. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have grandfathers or uncles or great uncles or whatever who was in Vietnam War or whatever, and they'll tell you out their own mouth. The people over there was like, yo, why are you here?
Yeah.
This ain't for you. We ain't got no beef with you. We ain't got no problem with you. And if you over here fighting us, why do you got a problem with us?
Think about it. They looking at it like
it ain't never been our war. It's their war. It's what they want. It's their greed and their whatever kind of fucking shit that they got going on. It's never been about the black man's war.
Cause they seen how we been getting treated too. They seen it. Like a lot of our history is spread all over the world. Our history is spread all over as black people. Our history is spread everywhere.
Over in Africa, look at us blacks here in America and shake their head.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They shake their heads at us like, what kind of shit y'all be on? What do y'all be talking about? What do y'all be doing to each other? Why do y'all talk like that to each other, amongst each other? Why do y'all call each other names and put the women down and follow what these white people are telling you to do?
Yep.
These are our brothers and sisters over in our homeland of Africa that shake their heads at us. And some of them, they don't even want to be aligned with us because they're so ashamed of us, of the things that we do.
Can you blame them? Shit.
They're ashamed of us.
I can't blame them for it. But I mean,
we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Everybody around the world knowing our own history, and us not really finding out like we supposed to. And another thing to them Hotep niggas and sisters, man, get y'all shit together. And Israelites and all of y'all, stop trying to debate people that look like who the best and who's the smartest. Stop that bullshit. We need to get out here and work together, man. We all soldiers out this motherfucker. We all fighting the same common enemy. Stop trying to, I'm smarter than him. I'm out here doing this. We out here reading this book. We out here saying all that. Listen, when I hear the Israelites really like sicken me the worst, because they're trying to figure out, they're trying to say that the Africans, even though that's not really the country, that's not the historic name, you know what I'm saying, we allow white people to give us everything. Africa is not really the name of, if you look up the history, that's really not what it's supposed to be as that continent. But at the same time, you come from Africa and you're saying, oh, we're not part of Africa. These are Africans. They sold us. They did all this shit. But you come from the same fucking land. That makes no sense. So you putting a fake divider across Africa? That don't make no fucking sense. We all the same, bro. And you got to think about it. They trying to say, because the Israelites are talking about how Africans had sold Africans and all of that shit. You don't think none of them Israelite niggas weren't doing none of that shit too back then? Come on now, man. The mindset is more so the problem. It's the mindset. And not realizing why we supposed to come together. Even though we all are supposed to come together. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you can't keep having separation just cause. It can't be just cause. It gotta be a real valid reason. It can't be just, oh, back in the about 300,000 years ago, this happened with. Get the fuck out of here, because not everybody's evil just because they was born in Africa, motherfucker. That makes no sense. So instead of us coming together, we trying to do the separation. That's why the devil wins every fucking time. Every fucking time. So, but if you got anything else you want to touch on, man, before we get ready to cut out of here, let me know. Voice your opinion, my brother.
Just what I said, like, we need to stop making excuses. Now is a great time. Of course, everything is not going to change overnight. We still got a long way to go as far as changing policies, changing laws. Even if you want to go as high as speaking about the Constitution was not written for us as black people. It was not. No matter what way you try to swing it, turn these words this way and that way, it was not written with us in mind. So we do have a long way to go. But as I said earlier, you can do something small that could have a small little change of effect 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, that could affect your kids or your grandkids. So that's all I need to hit it with is just do something. Just do, if any little thing you can do is a help. Anything.
Okay. And I would concur on that. You know what I'm saying? We all just try to do the best we can. You know what I'm saying? Believing in God, having and keeping faith. And you know what I'm saying? Faith without works is dead. And that's something real that we got to pay attention to. As well, you know, that's the main thing. Because we can talk about these things. We can debate all this. But at the end of the day, what me and my partner, HD, wants y'all to realize is if you just sitting around here paying attention to things on the internet and not getting out there in the field, doing the research and doing the work, you're going to be easily brainwashed, because I see a lot of brothers and sisters doing that, like Lord Jamar. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna continue the show. I just thought about that, but because I did a video on that, I want your intake on that, but we're gonna do that next time. But people like him, for somebody to be in their 50s and they so confused, is sad. That shit is sad. All you seen in your lifetime at 52, you are still able to be brainwashed and confused. Oh my God. So I just want y'all to just think about it. Get out the internet for a little while and actually get out there in the field, do your own research, do your own work, and actually see that people do need help more bigger than yourself, especially if you're a person of color, especially if you're a black person. You need to get out there, do some fucking work, man. Stop being lazy and definitely stop being afraid. This your boy JTL with Opposite from the Norm.
It's your man HD out here.
So make sure y'all like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe if this is your first time checking us out. We out this bitch.